And thank you for staying with us. I'll introduce my guests to you. To my immediate right is Danstan Omari. He is an advocate. And next to him is Edward Kisiangani, our resident political analyst. And to my left is Steve Ogola, who is our city lawyer and possibly resident legal analyst on this show. Steve. All right. We want to start by taking you live to the LSK headquarters in Lavington, where, of course, as you know, nationwide elections were held today. 16 vacant positions, 12 of them for council members, led by the president, and the remainder being a disciplinary tribunal. Our Sam Gituku is standing by and joins us with the outcome of those elections. Sam.
Well, good evening, Anne, and your panelists. And to say that from the Law Society of Kenya, we're still waiting for the final declaration of the leaders who've been elected to the various positions. You're speaking about 16 positions, and the most important one here for the presidency, of course, beating Alan Gishuhi versus Aggrey Mwamwa. I know there's so many reports out there saying that this election has already been called, but from the IEBC, which has been handling this particular election, that is not yet to happen, because what we have from the screens that we can see is that out of 36 polling stations, only 13 have reported. Those are the only stations that have reported or that have been verified by the IBC officials who are here, and just report that Alan Gishuhi seems to be in the lead with just a small margin of about 8% against Aggrey Mwamwa. Of course, that is what we can report. And for the other positions, you realize for the chairpersons, there is Harrieta and there is the other lady by the name Joy Mudivo. Harrieta seems to be in the lead and Mudivo following. But of course, we cannot really call this election because out of 36, only 13 have returned. So talking about 23 polling stations that are yet to really have their results verified and declared by the IEBC officials who are here.
Why are these LSK elections important to the country?
Well, maybe to start from why it's important for the members of the Law Society of Kenya, and I'm sure Steve is better placed to respond to that question, but you realize that there are 9,009 persons who are registered as the Law Society of Kenya members who had regularized the membership by the 31st of December last year. And so talking about those people getting an opportunity to determine who becomes their leader, who becomes the voice of the society, then it is an important exercise, because for the past 2 years they have been under the leadership of one Isaac Okero. Before then they had Eric Mutua. So it's another opportunity that they have to design what kind of leadership they want, what kind of voice do they want from the Law Society of Kenya, how do they want to really influence the matters that affect the country. And then to the public, it is an important institution, it is an important election, because then once you have the voice of the Law Society of Kenya, then you have sort of the conscience of the legal profession and getting to give a voice on what is happening across the country, be it political, be it social, and specifically on matters that have to touch on the public management of public affairs. So Law Society of Kenya will get an opportunity. Will they claim it? Of course, talking about the influence that there has been in terms of the political interference, or rather the political influence within the society. Of course, seeing the society having to take sides sometimes, especially from the membership, going the way of the national politics. We have seen that. So this election will be important to see, will they get a leadership that is able to really rid the society of the political interference and really get to return it to the professionalism that most of them have been calling for. And
which makes what you said about the conscience of the legal profession a little funny, perhaps tongue-in-cheek. Is there a conscience in the legal profession? But before we wind up with you, Sam, they do wield, or at least in the past have wielded, some significant political power, if you like. Of course, they sit on key institutions, JSC being one of them. What is your own assessment of how much power LSK has in regard to national politics?
Well, we cannot measure that power within this interaction with you, but all I can tell you for free is that looking at the Judicial Service Commission, you know that the Law Society of Kenya gets an opportunity to nominate 2 people to sit in that commission. Already there are 2 representatives who are sitting in it. There's Tom Ojenda, who is serving, should be a 4th year, maybe probably remaining just 1 year, and then there is the other lady who is sitting on that commission, probably with at least 3 years still to go. So they are serving 5-year terms. Each has a 5-year term which is renewable. So with the coming of a new leadership, unfortunately, I understand that there is no provision for the Law Society of Kenya to recall the membership of the Judicial Service Commission. They cannot recall them until they finish their term, but they will have a say when it comes to renewing that term, because as soon as the terms of those who are serving is over, then they'll have to recommend either new names or still have both the same names that are already serving returned if they will be seeking to defend their positions. So that will be important, because you realize that especially at the Judicial Service Commission, we're talking of a commission that has 11 members. Out of that, we have 3 who are representatives of the public, and a few weeks ago, the President Uhuru Kenyatta already nominated 3 persons who have already been vetted by Parliament, I believe, earlier this week, talking about Professor Olive Mugenda, talking about Felix Koskei, the former Agriculture CS, and also former Clerk of the National Assembly, Patrick Gishohi, who have already been vetted. Should they be approved, then they'll be sitting at the Judicial Service Commission as new members. Of course, with the nomination of Justice Philip Waki to be the Attorney General, then there's likely to be a change in the Judicial Service Commission. That's an extra person, of course, after the resignation of Attorney General Professor Githu Muigai for now. And should then the Law Society of Kenya change leadership, maybe in a few years' time, they might want to change their membership within the Judicial Service Commission, who are 2 of them. So if you take 4 plus 2, then you come to 6. So in a few years' time, then 6 members may have changed at the Judicial Service Commission. So how will that be used by the political forces in the country? It's a guess for anyone, depending on the political side that you may belong to or you ascribe to. But of course, we will await to see the kind of leadership that comes, and also the influence and the driving force that they will be having as they take the society next to the following years. 2 of them, to be specific. Anne.
Thanks very much. Sam Gituku reporting for us live from the LSK headquarters here in Nairobi. Steve, over the last 5 or so years, or a little bit longer,